Welcome to my channel Conversation Corner. I'm Kunal, and as you guys know, I talk about how the words we use can affect our thoughts, and our thoughts eventually affect our actions, and our actions dictate the direction of our life. Today, I want to talk to you about how knowledge can often push you more into ignorance when not acted upon. We were told since we were kids that knowledge is power, but that statement was really incomplete. The truth is, knowledge cannot translate to power when it's not acted upon. We live in the information age where a lot of information can be accessed that was earlier not easily accessible. Earlier, you had to go to libraries, you had to find certain books in the topic that you wanted to research, on the topic that you wanted to research, and you had to read those books thoroughly and arrive at your conclusions, and after that, take the action needed. The problem with the information age is we have so much information available that consuming information itself is now considered as knowledge rather than acting upon it. You can be proud of knowing something that someone else doesn't, but it's not going to really serve you if you don't act on it. If you know that it's beneficial to remove junk food from your life, but you don't remove junk food from your life, it doesn't serve you. If you know that it's beneficial to learn a new language or to learn a new skill and develop it, and you don't do that, it's not beneficial to you. The reason you should not take this video lightly is whenever knowledge is consumed and not acted upon, it creates a split or a division in you. Then knowledge becomes something that is separate from you because you're not acting on it. The only time knowledge can become you is when you act on the knowledge that you have acquired. And it's not easy to act on the knowledge you have acquired for the very simple reason that you are what you have been practicing. If you have been practicing laziness, then of course it's going to be difficult to start eating healthy and to start exercising. We're not what we think, we're not what we feel, we are what we practice day in and day out. So if we've practiced laziness day in and day out, it's quite natural that the cycle continues. But if we have to break the cycle of laziness, we need to become the knowledge that we have acquired. I often like to tell myself to know is to be is to do. If you know something, act on it. When you act on it, you become that very thing you act on. The problem is we've become too comfortable with consuming information as it is, which leads us to two very different conclusions. Either we act solely based on what we know and our past, and that repeats the future, where we benefit to a certain extent, but then we cap out and then we can't improve further. The other extreme is that we are always trying to find the most efficient and optimum way to do things, and as a result, we hardly do anything at all, which in common parlance is called paralysis by analysis. We don't want to go either way. We want to put maximum effort and we want to learn incrementally so that whenever we hit a ceiling, we can surpass that. We can go to the next level. So, before watching any other video on this channel of mine, if there has been an important piece of information that you have acquired this week or this month or this year, get started with acting on it. You may not achieve the peak or the summit of the possibility that can become you by acting on it, but you can at least get started. By that, I mean to say that if you start exercising tomorrow, you won't have washboard abs by day after. But by staying true to the process, you cultivate that possibility, and that is something we can strive towards. The hardest part about acting on knowledge is that it's not become a part of you, and real results in the external world take time to manifest. You don't get a tree the very next day you plant a seed, and to have the patience to see that seed turn into a tree is something that we're losing the ability to have thanks to instant gratification and technology, which gives us what we want at the snap of a finger. So we have to do things in the reverse order in these times where everyone wants to see absolutely everything. We may have to narrow our focus down to very few things and be quite content missing out on a lot. It may actually be true that we're not missing out on a lot, and what we're really missing out on is something that really doesn't really matter in the end. So if you think that my video has brought you any value this week or this weekend, act on something that you acquired as a piece of knowledge, and then weave that into your daily lives in such a way that there is no distinction between you and what you've learned. Let you and what you've learned become one, and that way, what you acquire as knowledge becomes instinctual rather than intellectual.